Have you ever felt tired in your soul, not just in your body? You're doing all the right things. You go to church, you read your Bible, you pray. But somewhere along the way, it all started feeling empty, like you're going through the motions of faith without actually feeling alive in it. You used to love worship. Now it feels like background noise. You used to look forward to prayer. Now it feels like an obligation. And you feel guilty even admitting it, because you know you should be grateful. You know you should be closer to God. So you keep showing up, keep pretending everything is fine, and keep wondering why you feel so far away. If that's you today, I want you to hear this. You're not backsliding. You're not a bad Christian. You're spiritually exhausted. And spiritual exhaustion is real. It's common, and it has a biblical remedy. Today, we're going to explore 6 signs that you're spiritually exhausted and how to recover. This is not a message of guilt. It's a message of hope. By the end of this message, you'll understand what's happening in your soul and how to find your way back to the God you love. Sign number 1. Prayer feels like a chore. There was a time when prayer felt like breathing. You couldn't wait to talk to God. You poured your heart out, and you felt His presence in return. But now, prayer feels like something on your to-do list. You do it because you're supposed to, not because you want to. You open your mouth, and the words feel flat. You close your eyes, and your mind wanders. And when you finish, you don't feel anything. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, "Pray without ceasing." But when you're exhausted, even ceasing feels hard. The enemy wants you to believe that dry prayer means God has left you. He whispers, "If God were with you, prayer would feel good again." But that's a lie. Dry seasons in prayer are not evidence of distance. They are often evidence of exhaustion. Just like a runner who has run too long needs water, not guilt. A soul that has given too much needs rest, not shame. If prayer feels like a chore, that's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you need to stop performing and start resting. Not every prayer has to be powerful. Some prayers are just, "Lord, I'm tired, help me." And that prayer, whispered in honesty, may be the most powerful one you've prayed in months. Sign number 2. You're doing all the right things, but feeling nothing. This is one of the most confusing signs. You're still showing up. You're still serving. You're still doing everything you've always done. But the joy is gone. You worship, but you don't feel it. You serve, but you're running on fumes. You listen to sermons, but they don't land the way they used to. It's like you're watching your own spiritual life from the outside, and you can't figure out what changed. Revelation 2:4 speaks to this exactly. Jesus says to the church in Ephesus, "But I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first." Notice what Jesus didn't say. He didn't say they stopped doing things. He said they lost their first love. They were still busy. They were still active. But the love that fueled it all had faded. The enemy wants you to measure your faith by your activity. He wants you to think that as long as you're doing the right things, you're fine. But activity without love is exhaustion in disguise. The answer isn't to do more. It's to return to the source. To sit with God, not to perform for Him. To remember the moment you first fell in love with Him. That love can be rekindled. It doesn't return through more effort. It returns through stillness. He's been waiting for you to slow down enough to meet Him. Remember the first time you encountered His grace. The relief, the wonder. That was real. And it can be real again. Sign number 3. You feel numb, even in worship. This sign is painful because it happens in the place that used to be your refuge. You walk into church, or you put on worship music, and you wait for the feeling to come. But it doesn't. The songs that used to move you to tears feel flat. The presence you used to feel feels far, and you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel God anymore? Psalm 42 verses 1-2 gives words to this exact experience. As a deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. And then, a few verses later, the same psalmist asks, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you in turmoil within me?" The psalmist felt it too. Numbness in worship is not always sin. Sometimes it's the soul's way of saying it needs rest. The enemy wants to shame you for feeling nothing, because shame makes you hide, and hiding makes you stay exhausted. But feeling numb doesn't mean God is far. It means your soul is tired. Think of it like a phone battery at 1%. The phone still works. It's still connected to the network, but it needs to be charged before it can function fully. Your soul is the same. You're still connected to God. You just need charging. And charging doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from being still. Sign number 4. You're irritable with the people you love. This one surprises people. You expect spiritual exhaustion to show up in your prayer life, but it often shows up in your relationships first. The people closest to you get the worst of it. Your patience is thin. Your words are sharp. Small things set you off. And you don't know why you're so easily annoyed. Galatians 5:22-23 lists the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And when your spirit is exhausted, the fruit suffers. Not because you're evil, but because you're empty. You can't pour out what you don't have. The enemy wants you to believe your irritability is just who you are, that you're naturally short-tempered, and there's nothing you can do about it. But irritability is often a signal, not an identity. It's the check engine light of your soul. It's telling you that you've been giving out more than you've been taking in. And the remedy is not more discipline, it's more restoration. When your soul is full of God's peace, patience becomes natural. You don't have to manufacture kindness. It overflows. So when you notice yourself snapping at the people you love, don't just apologize and move on. Ask yourself, when did I last rest in God's presence? When did I last let Him fill me? The answer will tell you what your irritability has been trying to say. Sign number 5. You're avoiding spiritual things without knowing why. This is the sign people hide the most. You find yourself skipping church, not because you're busy, but because you're tired. You scroll past worship videos. You leave your Bible unopened. You tell yourself you'll get back to it next week. But deep down, you know you're avoiding something, not God, the effort. You're not running from God. You're running from the exhaustion that comes with trying to reach Him. Elijah understood this. In 1 Kings chapter 19, after the greatest victory of his life, Elijah ran. He was exhausted, afraid, and alone. And he sat under a tree and asked God to take his life. He didn't need a rebuke. He didn't need a lecture. He needed sleep, food, and the quiet presence of God. And that's exactly what God gave him. The enemy wants you to believe that withdrawing means you've fallen away, that your faith is failing. But sometimes withdrawal is the soul's survival instinct, and God meets you in it. He doesn't shame Elijah. He feeds him. He lets him rest. And then, in the stillness, He speaks in a gentle whisper. If you've been avoiding spiritual things, don't let shame push you further away. Come back gently, not with a massive commitment, with one small step, one verse, one prayer, one honest conversation with God. That's how recovery begins. You don't have to have it all together to come home. You just have to turn toward Him. Even the direction of your heart is a step. Sign number 6. You're running on obligation instead of love. This is the root sign. When you're spiritually exhausted, your motivation changes. You no longer serve because you love God. You serve because you feel you have to. You pray because you're guilty if you don't. You go to church because people would notice if you stopped. Your faith has become a debt you're paying, not a relationship you're enjoying. And a faith built on obligation is a faith that will eventually collapse. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Notice the invitation. Jesus doesn't say, "Come to me, all who are performing well." He says, "Come to me, all who are heavy laden." If you're carrying your faith as a burden, you qualify for this invitation. The enemy wants you to believe that rest is earned, that you can only stop when you've done enough. But Jesus invites the heavy laden, not the sufficient. He doesn't ask you to clean yourself up before you come. He asks you to come, and He does the restoring. Obligation-driven faith is a treadmill. Love-driven faith is a river. And the way back from obligation to love is not trying harder, it's remembering. Remembering who God is, remembering what He's done for you, remembering that He loves you, not because of your performance, but because you're His. When that truth lands, obligation melts, and love takes its place. Let's bring it all together. Prayer that feels like a chore is a soul that needs rest. Activity without feeling is a heart that needs its first love back. Numbness in worship is a spirit that needs charging. Irritability with loved ones is a life that needs refilling. Withdrawal from spiritual things is a tired soul that needs gentle return. And obligation instead of love is a faith that needs to remember. These are not signs that you've failed. They are signs that you've been running on empty. And the remedy is not guilt, it's rest. Jesus didn't come to load you with more weight. He came to take the weight off. He said, "My yoke is easy, and my burden is light." If your yoke feels heavy, if your burden feels crushing, then you're carrying something He never asked you to carry. So today, give yourself permission to rest. Sit with God without an agenda. Open your Bible without a checklist. Let worship be a gift, not a duty, and let Him restore your soul. You're not the only one who has felt this way. Even the psalmist, even Elijah, even the church in Ephesus. And God met every one of them with grace, not with shame. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who has been quietly struggling in their faith and needs to know they're not alone. And in the comments, write these words: "Restore my soul." Let that be your prayer today. Psalm 23:3 says, "He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake." He restores. That's what He does. That's who He is. So today, friend, stop striving, stop performing, stop pretending. Come to Him tired and let Him restore you. The God who gives rest to the weary is waiting, and He's not disappointed in you.